He was confident of its capability to withstand tight turns and long loops. A few minutes later, the wings ripped off Winter's twin-engine experimental aircraft. As hundreds of horrified spectators watched, the plane spun out of control, with Winter at the controls and his wife screaming, "Oh my God," over the public address system.
It was the last thing anyone expected to happen during this Plainview air show. A capacity crowd milled around the Hale County Airport. Planes took off and landed during the exhibition. Then it happened. Pilot Wes Winters was executing an aerobatic stunt when the wings of his plane snapped off. Mary Winters, the pilot's wife, had been announcing his stunts from a platform when the plane lost control. Officials had to lead her from the platform. Winters was a veteran pilot from Mesa, Arizona, with 25-plus years of flying experience. He was flying a Partenavia, a non-aerobatic plane that was not built to perform stunts in the air. No one knows exactly what went wrong, but local pilots did speculate.
I know they teach us in flight training that if you overstress a wing, you're in big trouble. And I don't know if that's what happened or not, but it looked to me like it's a pretty good possibility he just overstressed both wings at the same time. That's just a guess.
Witnesses on the ground said the plane had been headed for the crowd, but Winters managed to steer it away before the crash. It seemed as if the entire crowd went into shock. FAA monitor Mike Hutchinson, however, declared the air show would continue. Pilots took to the air out of respect for the dead man, some said, and the Confederate Air Force dedicated a formation to Winters. One pilot's wife said, "I know if it had been my husband, he wouldn't have wanted to go any other way." She added that when his plane took off, she would be with him in the air.
Lowest fire.
This journey along an isolated logging road through the back country of BC's Elk Valley has become a ritual for two employees of Fording Coal. They're on their way to inspect a coal seam that has been threatening forests in the region for the past 47 years. Since 1936, the earth has been burning. Flames leap out of the ground, smoke and gases seep from the cracks. Beneath is a smoldering 1,000 square foot inferno of coal, burning at 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
The fire started in 1936 when a forest fire came through the area. You can see a lot of the trees here aren't very old. And at that time and prior to it, there had been exploration going on all the time. And one of the tricks of the trade in those days, and still is to some degree today, is to drive a small tunnel into the coal and take some samples out and test the coal to see if it's worthwhile to start a mine in it. Obviously, there wasn't a commercial proposition at the time, so they just left the tunnels as were. And very often in those days, just either left them open or just boarded them up. And the fire ignited the timbers in the little tunnel, the adit, and that in turn ignited the coal, and then the coal's been burning ever since.
The voracious and stubborn fire has been traveling 13 meters a year. It's left a trail of heat-baked rock now a quarter of a mile long. The fire cannot be controlled, only watched. In 1977, a creek was diverted, but the fire traveled beneath it. Fording once tried to dig up the burning coal, but couldn't get it all. Trees and debris have been cleared from its path.
We are monitoring it constantly. We have removed all the timber anywhere near the fire and quite a ways beyond any danger area, so it's something that we have to keep an eye on. They're very unpredictable as far as their rate of burning, and they could just all of a sudden take off and burn twice as much as they average in a year, and we have to know that.
This pipe is part of an experiment by scientists from UBC who are studying the fire's energy and ways to harness it. Even above ground, the intense heat is almost unbearable.
The ground above the fire is very, very hot. In fact, it's so hot that I couldn't even put my knee down on the ground without getting burned. It's hard to show you how hot it is, so we brought along some eggs. Thought we'd try frying one on the rocks. Not bad. It's as good as any frying pan. Oh, I broke the egg.
Since the nearest town is 28 miles away, the fire is not a threat to it, at least not yet. It'll be 30 years before the fire reaches the next creek, and if that doesn't put it out, it could burn until the coal runs out.